other news, is spoken Hebrew on its way out? 100 years have passed since the Hebrew language was revived by Eliezer Ben Yehuda, but while words like Agvaniot and Glida, that's tomatoes and ice cream, are now part of our daily lives, so are more and more foreign words. Is this a danger to the Hebrew language or just a trend? Joining us to discuss are Yoel and Orly Ganor, CEOs and co-founders of Ulpan-Or. Hello, and thank you so much for being with us. I'm just going to go right into it. Are we witnessing a period in which the Hebrew language is going through a significant change of adopting foreign words up to the point that Hebrew could actually disappear?
So we don't really think so. We really appreciate Ben Yehuda's work, tremendous work. He was a really courageous and bold person. And what he did stays and remains with us till this day.
He had to be very creative to do so. For instance, to make the word airplane, he took the root of the word air, avir in Hebrew, and turned it into aviron. And so with many other words. In doing so, he actually left us a legacy of inventing more, like in modern English. Bianca, if you were given a text in Shakespearean English, would you be able to cast it for the viewers? I don't think so, right? But it's still English. It's not the Shakespearean English, but it's still English.
Well, I guess that's because languages are always in evolution. They're always evolving. So tell us, what are the main changes in the language we see right now, and how do you how did you find a way to convey these new changes?
So, we do have the Hebrew Academy, the academy that gives us the authority to the Israelis, which words we should use and which words we don't use. But in real life,
another important source for modernization of Hebrew is the Israeli army, where Hebrew is constantly rejuvenated by its slang. Since the army now uses our Hebrew program to study Hebrew for the new immigrants, we constantly listen how soldiers in the army speak, and we use their innovations in our Hebrew courses.
Well, we've heard about the army, but how does the Israeli media fit into the assimilation of these new language changes?
So that's really interesting. Our media, the Israeli media, really invents new words. And the way it kind of implements it into the culture is by describing things and using the new words. And immediately people understand the meaning of the new word.
Actually, the Israeli media is a bit different from the regular, the language there is different from the regular Hebrew. For instance, unlike English, which doesn't like to use passive voice, whenever I write something, it usually corrects me to do the active voice. But in the Hebrew media, using the passive voice is their motto, and it's sometimes very difficult for people who don't know. So what we do is we produce a media publication on a weekly basis. We call it the e-ton. It's a pun. In Hebrew, e-ton means a newspaper. So by doing that on a weekly basis for different levels, we actually open the gateway for our students to understand the Israeli media, its special, unique language, and practice it.
Opening the gateways for more understanding. Yoel and Orly Ganor, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bianca, for hosting us.
Thank you.
ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.